Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Mojo Grip Mike here. So in today's video, I want to discuss how to finance an airplane purchase. Now, I really wanted to do a live video on this topic. I posted a question in the community tab a while ago, and I wanted you all to submit your questions and so we can discuss it live. But I haven't honestly had the time to sit and set up my whole live video stream and stuff. But so in today's video, I'm just gonna put it all hopefully in a 10 minutes video, and I hope you get good knowledge out of it. So to purchase an airplane, as a lot of you know, or some of you who watch this channel, I'm currently in the process of building an airplane. And so it's a different market compared to if I was just going out to purchase a brand new airplane or a used airplane. So, and that's what I'll talk about in this video, just sort of break down the difference and the different processes that's involved with either or. So for those of you who are new to the channel or non-pilots, when you purchase an airplane, think of an airplane like an asset, or like you were purchasing a car. In the auto industry, you can finance just about any car you want, right? Or you can finance a house if you want to. You can finance anything. The same thing goes for an airplane. So you don't always have to have all the money to be able to buy your airplane. Obviously, there are different ways to pay or fund your airplane purchase. You can either buy into a group, you can buy into what's called like a flight club or flying club. You can also partner up with somebody else and put the money together and go buy it, one and done deal, right? Or you can finance it. Now, if you're using your airplane for business purposes, so if your business involves you having to travel, having to meet clients, then that's actually a smart purchase, because you get to write off whatever expense that you put on the airplane. But also, if, say for example, you finance the airplane and say it costs you, I don't know, $200, $300 an hour to operate the airplane, and say your counseling or whatever job or business you're running makes you about $1,000 an hour, then that makes complete sense. So if you were to go out right now and you wanted to buy a used airplane, which is what really most people do, that's what I wanted to do at one point. Say you wanted to purchase a used Cherokee or a used Cessna for 50 grand. And guys, I should say this is more particular to single engine airplane. There are different categories of aircraft, but this is more particular to single engine airplanes. So assuming you wanted to purchase a used airplane, say a Piper Cherokee or something, and the price for that is, let's just put it at $50,000. The cost to buy this used airplane is $50,000. What you do is you can go to a lender or go to a bank or your local credit union, and you can finance that airplane. Now, standard I know is that you can get up to 80% of the purchase price. So if you were to go to a lender right now, you would be required to put down 20% of whatever loan or whatever amount that you're asking for, and this is assuming that you get approved for the loan, which we'll discuss in a little bit. So you have to put 20% down, and then they'll give you up to 80% for you to finance up to 80%. A great place to go about this is the AOPA platform. I use it all the time, and again, once upon a time when I was looking to go this route, I try to go through AOPA. They provide really amazing resources for things like this and many other stuff. So good plugin there for AOPA. And they also have a calculator. So right now, maybe you're just thinking about it and you wanted to get an idea how much it will cost you on a per month basis. You can go, they have a calculator on the website. You can just Google it, AOPA calculator. And you put in the numbers, your purchase price, how much you're looking to finance for how many years. And say on average, the interest rate right now I think is between like 4% and 6%. Now, given when I was shopping for a loan, on average I was getting between 5 and 6%. That was the interest rate. So, and I believe the interest rate will go up, or no, sorry, the interest rate will go down if the amount that you're borrowing is more. So say for example you were borrowing $20,000 or $30,000, you may have more interest rate than if you were borrowing $50,000, $60,000 or $70,000. And some lenders won't even borrow you anything less than $30,000 or $40,000. I've spoken to quite a few, so I know. All right, but you can shop around. So that's one way to go about it. Now, unlike say for example, if you were to get a loan for a car, you just go to a bank, they look at your credit, and boom, 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 you can get the car, you can get the loan. Now, with an airplane, the process is a bit more complex in the sense that they require more stuff from you. So you would be required to submit 2 years of your tax returns. They check your income, they check your credit, and they check just what your balance sheet. So say for example, you were buying the airplane for a business or whatever the case may be, they want to see your profit and loss statement, things like that. So that's what makes it complex compared to just, checking credit and boom, boom, they give you the money. Think of it, process really is like buying a house. When you're buying a house, these are the same documents that will be required of you, your tax returns, your income statement, things like that. The same thing goes into buying an airplane, and that's how you get approved. And obviously, depending on how good or bad your credit is, that would affect the interest rate. But if you make enough and the lender sees you worthy of the loan, they'll give you the loan. Okay, so that's the basic process. Now, a lot of the questions that I have gotten has been, how do I finance an experimental airplane? The experimental airplane is a bit more different than your standard certified airplane. So if you wanted to finance an experimental, it's possible for one. So for all of you out there who are asking, it is very possible to finance an experimental airplane. But when you think about it, you're not financing an airplane. You're financing a kit that needs to be built. You're financing the kit itself and whatever other expense that goes into building the airplane. So that's why the process is a little bit different. You can get what's called a line of credit, okay? So with a line of credit, you get a line of credit and then you use that line of credit to finance the purchase of the kit or whatever other equipment or any other expenses that's involved in building the airplane. You can use a line of credit to fund that. And then once the airplane is built, then you can go to a normal formal lender or a bank, and then they'll give you, I guess the process, I would call it refinance. It's the same thing as refinancing a house, is you find a way to fund the deal first, and then once the house is complete or renovations is complete, then you go back to the bank and do a refinance, and then you pull money out. Now, let's break that down. So what does it mean to get a line of credit? If you're new to this term, line of credit is simply exactly what it says. It's not a credit card, it's a line of credit. Unlike a credit card, a line of credit, the interest rate is much lower. So say a credit card, you might get interest rate 20-30%, whereas a line of credit is more on line of any other standard loan. Now, how do you get a line of credit? To get a line of credit, it means you must have an asset that has value. So say for example, I don't know of a car. If you have a car that has some type of value in it, you can maybe put that in the line, but more than likely, I would say maybe real estate or your house. So say for example, if you have good amount of equity on your house right now, you can always get a line of credit against that. Or I'll give you an example. You guys have followed some of my stories. As a matter of fact, if you haven't subscribed to my second channel, it's simply Mike Ojo. Go subscribe to it right now, because I detail some of my real estate chronicles on that channel. And for a lot of you who followed that channel, you know that last year we purchased a small house and it was a fixer-upper. So we went through a bunch of renovations, and right now on that house we have about $75,000 of equity in it. Okay, so someone like me, I can go and get a line of credit against the equity that I have, and then I would use the money to fund buying the kit or paying for any expenses that goes into building the airplane. So that's the same process. So if you have a house and you have some equity on the house, you can get a line of credit against your house. Okay, you use the line of credit to fund your kit, your build process, and then once you're done building the airplane, okay, now you have a complete, I don't want to call it an asset, but you can say it's an asset, but let's just say a product. You have a physical thing now that a banker or a lender can look at and say, okay, this is a complete item. And then obviously they'll look at what the market value is, whatever the case may be. So let's take a Sling TSI, for example, which is the airplane I'm building. Now you can use this same process or concept on just about any experimental build. Okay, so a Sling TSI, if you were to build a complete, fully loaded airplane, you're looking at closer to 300 grand, right? But the kit, just to get the kit, is about $60,000. So if you wanted to get a kit right now, you can, again, get a line of credit. You use the line of credit to purchase your kit, get your engine and all the other stuff involved in building. And so let's say a year, 2 years from now, you complete your airplane, and let's just put a price tag of $300,000 on the airplane. Now, you go to a lender and you tell them, hey, I have this asset, I need a loan to finance it. Or you can say, I have this asset and I need to refinance or finance the purchase of this asset. And what the bank or the lender would do, we're in sort of the early process I mentioned. If you were to buy a used airplane, the lender would then, obviously, they'll check your credit, they'll check your income taxes, things like that, and then they would give you up to 80% of the value of that asset. So for a Sling TSI, if the market value is $300,000, you can get a loan up to $240,000, okay? And that way you're not financing that airplane. And then what you do, obviously, with the 240 is you go pay down whatever line of credit that you borrowed against your house, you paid that off, and then now you're just making a monthly payment towards your plane. So that's all of it in a nutshell. Okay, just to recap, is it possible to finance an experimental airplane? Yes, absolutely. The process is, first you get a line of credit against an asset that you already own. You use that line of credit to fund your kit and to build the airplane. And then once you have a complete airplane, you refinance and you get a loan to finance that complete airplane. And then you take the money, obviously pay off your line of credit, and then you just make a monthly payment towards your brand new airplane. So that is it. I'm sure there's probably more details that I didn't mention, but that's all of it in the simplest form. Now, some of you who are watching this video may have been through this process already. I would love to get your take on everything that I just discussed, so please leave in the comments. And if you're new to this and you have more questions, just let me know in the comments. I'm gonna be checking this thread and I'll try to answer as much as possible. And obviously, one of the questions also that I've gotten is, how do I even get started, or where do I go? Depending on the airplane or the kit that you're looking to purchase, I'm sure if you give them a call, they can walk you through all of these steps and they can provide the right resources in getting your loans and things like that. Say for example, if you wanted to fund or purchase or finance a Sling TSI kit, just reach out to TAF. They got people there. They'll connect you with the right people to use. Okay, so I hope you got something from this video. Again, I apologize. I really wanted to discuss this live, but my schedule is not allowing me to do so. And hopefully, honestly, if there's enough questions from this video, we might even do a live video as a follow-up. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please give a thumbs up and subscribe with notification on, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.